Hey y'all, Mike with Cardboard Kingdom. Welcome back to another Disney Lorcana video. I hope you and yours are doing well. I am doing amazing. Today we've got a new Disney Lorcana, the first chapter product coming to shelves near you. Now you might think, Mike, we just had the Costco bundle. Is that what you're talking about? And I would say no, we have another product coming to shelves at Target for Black Friday. So that's the majority of what we're going to talk about today. I know that's going to get a lot of you guys fired up. So we're going to talk about that. In addition, we are going to talk about a couple cards that are escalating in price and then a few other just minor announcements and whatnot. So that's the bulk of today's video. I do want to say you guys helped me a little bit yesterday. No one mentioned my haircut, which I went to have lunch with my daughter yesterday at her school. They're having like a Thanksgiving lunch where family could come. Went and had lunch with her. But before I went and got my hair cut. And the lady who cuts my hair, she's very pregnant right now, and I think she was kind of just like out of it, rightfully so, right? I mean, like I can't even fathom what like her body's going through. And I do like a one on the sides because I've got a little bit too much, I guess, salt these days with the salt and pepper. So I just pretty much cut off as much as I can and then do a little, like comb over or whatever up top. But she took the one like way up high, and like I mean, my hair it's a little bit easier to not as easy to see in camera, but my hair in person, like I look goofy for sure. The worst haircut I've ever had in my life. I immediately had to come home, put a hat on, and then I was like, yes sir. I'm like, all right, well let's see if anyone notices on the camera. Which to be fair, it's very hard to see, but I look like a fool. So thank you guys for making me feel a little bit better. No one mentioned it, so that's good. But yeah, I've been wearing a hat a lot more than normal here over the last 24 hours because sheesh, but I'll give her a break because she's very pregnant. So nevertheless, let's get into what you guys are all here for, the Target Black Friday bundle. Let's see here. So you've got first and foremost the portfolio, right? We've got Moana, Mickey, and Cruella de Vil. I believe this is a portfolio that they've had before. It looks very familiar, at least. It includes 2 packs of the first chapter. It includes 2 packs of Rise of the Floodborne, as well as the portfolio. So it's a total of 4 booster packs available in America only. This is for NA only, or specifically America only. November 23rd, and it's priced at $25. So you get 4 packs for $25. You also get the portfolio. And look, guys, I think, once again, a lot of my thoughts are very similar to the Costco bundle. I love this one a little bit more than the Costco bundle because the price point is very cheap, right? It's only $24. I think the Costco one was like $39 if I'm not mistaken, which is still a strong price, and you get 6 first chapter packs with that one. But a lot more of just like the day-to-day consumer and the people who are going to be looking for TCG product or open to TCG product. A lot of that is going to happen at Target. And so the fact that, this is a prime time, right? Holiday season, great gift giving item, not too expensive, right? And I've talked about this a lot before, but like I'm a massive fan. Like if you think back to the Southern Islands binder and Pokemon back in the WotC era, like getting this binder and getting these cards and everything, a place to store them, like getting someone into the game, like that's really, really cool. And I just sentimentally, I love products like this. I think 2 packs of first chapter, great. 2 packs of Floodborne, great. The first 2 sets there. It is very interesting. We'll talk about in a minute the fact that Floodborne's in here. We haven't seen much of that. So I think maybe this is hinting at this is the end of the first chapter wave, possibly. This is maybe the last product we see. But look, never say never in terms of Ravensburger releasing the first chapter product, because they will find a way. So we've got more first chapter coming here. Very, very similar to the Costco product in terms of, look, this just means more and more enchanteds are going to be out there, right? The individual playable singles are already, not worthless, but they're on their way there, right? Rapunzel pre-rotations was a $40 to $50 card. I think now she's around 10. That price is just going to keep coming down. Even if they do reprint her, the premium of the card will just never be the same. That's why I talk a lot about like, don't collect sets, don't collect current core rotation cards as much as possible. Try to avoid them if you're strictly a collector, because things like that will continue to happen as we evolve and get further and further down these rotation cycles. But by and large, I think the product is good. I don't expect this to crash the booster boxes. I don't expect this to crash the booster box cases. I think, even if you look at the singles now in a post Costco box world, that product's been out for, I don't know, a month roughly. We haven't seen much of an impact on the price price is there. But look, the more that these cards are available, it just lengthens the time horizon for any sort of price acceleration on the singles and makes them more widely available, more copies of the cards, and therefore the price is going to stay at a deflated price for longer due to just more supply. And so I think that, look, this is a very similar to what I'm seeing with like rotations, right? And I would challenge you guys to like get on the Lorcana Reddit or just look around. There are a lot of new people who are getting into Lorcana here recently, right? Whether they're getting in fresh or they're coming back, there's a lot of just player growth that's happening anecdotally looking at stories online. And I think that products like this are another great way to get people into the gate. And if that comes at the price of deflation, bringing down the price of the first chapter Enchanted, 5% or 10% in terms of long-term growth, I think that is definitely worth it. And you can call that bag holder cope, whatever, right? Like I've been called a shill many times for my defense of Ravensburger when it comes to the first chapter, but you'll never convince me that a new TCG, the set is 2 years old, that they're like doing criminal activity by making this product available. Like, I think that they are new TCG competing in a very, very saturated market, and they've got to get the product in the hands of the people. Even from a collector's perspective, this is a great product. You get the 2 oldest sets, you get a binder to go with it. It's a very affordable $24.99 price. It's available at Target, right? Black Friday deal. There's going to be marketing associated with it. And in a world where they continue to add Lorcana into the brand, right? The new D23 memberships and the various different things they're doing with that in terms of giving out Lorcana cards. It's a great way to get Lorcana in the hands of people, especially around the gift giving time of the year. Like, I know for a fact, I kind of came to the conclusion on video. A lot of you guys probably saw it, but like I ended up buying the Costco bundle. I got a couple of them, and one of them I will 100% will wrap and give to my daughter to open with her on Christmas Day. Like, that just sounds so exciting. And maybe we'll switch over. She's got the Stitch binder right now. Maybe we'll switch over to the to the villain binder that's in that, or maybe we get this product too, and she can kind of pick. I don't know. We'll figure out what makes sense. But I'm very, very excited for that. And I think this bundle, once again, has the opportunity to do the same thing. And I know a lot of people are new to Lorcana, and a lot of people are coming into Lorcana. And so this gives those people a chance at a new product and to open some sets that I think are very, very cool and have some awesome cards, right? Where that's the Elsa, the Maui, Cinderella, right? One of my favorite cards in all of Lorcana, Cinderella Bar of Sensation. That card is just gorgeous, coming out of Rise of the Floodborne. So hopefully more good things to come. And look, I mean, once again, like, I don't want to see them continue to like print and release Disney Lorcana first chapter packs or Rise of the Floodborne packs. We know they're not doing booster boxes anymore, and we know that the packs that were in the Costco bundle were 2024 dated. And so I hope that these are dated that as well. And once again, they're just kind of getting them out of the warehouse. And if they're doing that at the expense of growing the game and getting it in the hands of more people, I think that's okay. I do not want them to do another print run. If these are 2025 dated, I think that's bad, right? That means that they're probably printing more. And so, more to come on that, but nothing here initially scares me in terms of this particular product. Now, I do think it's interesting in terms of Rise of the Floodborne being included in this, because we haven't seen Rise of the Floodborne really in much. It was in the original Lilo and Stitch gift box that came out a couple months ago that had the Lilo Escape Artist promo in there. You had the opportunity to get Rise of the Floodborne, but it was very few and far between. Like, I would say, I opened a ton of those. And I would say it was probably like 1 in every like 4 to 5 had either Rise of the Floodborne or Azurite Sea. The bulk of the packs were Inklings, Ursula's Return, Shimmering Skies. And then the 2 and 6 were kind of the outliers there. And so it's interesting to see Rise of the Floodborne. They still have some stock back available. We didn't get an official announcement on Rise of the Floodborne booster boxes being out of print like we did with the first chapter. I'm of the belief that it is. We did not get an official statement. So I'll be very interested to see what are these Rise of the Floodborne packs dated, and just kind of get some more like info and story on them. Because I think that when I put on my consumer hat, or consultant hat rather, and I'm looking at like, okay, Ravensburger came out of the gate super hot. This game was widely accepted as like a new, very successful TCG. It was being scalped like crazy, and they had to ramp their printing up because it almost went extinct because people couldn't buy the cards to afford to play the game. Okay. So they do that, and they go to market in 2023. They see this rampant growth, insane demand, and they ramp up the printers for 2024. That makes sense to me. Now, whenever they ramp them up and some of the secondary market prices start to crash, desire for the game fades, whether that's from, or not fades, but declines, whether that's from Pixelborn, whether that's for lack of competitive events, or, whatever, you can definitely say that the growth at least stagnated for a while in 2024. Now that we're in 2025, demand's starting to pick back up. They're clearly growing their product offering in terms of offering these gift sets, right? With the Lethal and Stitch and the Elsa gift set. We have the Tinkerbell collection set. They came out Fabled. We've now got this Black Friday bundle. We had a Black Friday bundle last year as well that had the first chapter in it. They're kind of expanding their horizons in terms of a go-to-market strategy and product offering. And I personally am a fan of that. And I think including some of these older packs in that is, once again, a great way to grow the game organically. There's going to be people who get this product who have never opened Disney Lorcana. They have no clue about the first chapter. They have no clue about Rise of the Floodborne. They're going to pull some insane cards, and they're going to be absolutely stoked. They're going to have a binder to put them in, and that's going to begin their Lorcana journey. And I think that that's a great way for them to grow the brand. And that's not to say that they should do it infinitely. But once again, they're a new trading card game, and they have to get people into the game, whether that's a collector, whether that's a player. And I just don't think that this is going to do that much damage to the first chapter market, whether that's sealed or the individual singles. The singles are where you're going to feel the most pain, without a doubt. But the booster boxes like this, you could look at it, this is a positive for the booster boxes, in the sense that this product is in general, it's going to grow the game, in my opinion. If that is the case, we know that they're not reprinting booster boxes anymore. And so maybe some of these people realize that they missed out on the first chapter booster box, and they go and get it, right? So you already have an asset that you know isn't going to be reprinted unless they outright lied, which some of you would say that they did that by making the statement saying these products will never be available, that being the booster boxes, not the individual packs. But I think that it's probably a net positive for the sealed overall when you look at like booster boxes and booster box cases specifically. So I know that this product's going to make a lot of you guys mad. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to kill the game or anything like that. I'm a very firm believer of things are never as bad or as good as you think they are. And so I just think this is a cool product. It's not going to crash the market. It's not going to kill the game. It's going to get some people into the game, and it's going to lengthen the time horizon of any first chapter Enchanted's spiking in price, in my opinion, just from pure supply and demand. Some of these people are going to open these, they're going to pull an Elsa, and they're going to sell it that day, right? Like, they're going to be like, okay, hit the lottery, bought a $25 product, pulled an Elsa, and that's a $700 or $800 card, whatever it is at the moment, and they're going to sell it. So that is it on the product. Very interested to see these Rise of the Floodborne packs and what those look like from a date perspective. And then, excited to see what happens. Cause like we've seen, they've done a lot. This is like the fourth or fifth iteration they've done of like these specialty products with an assortment of packs. And so I'm just very interested to see how these continue to adapt, and what packs do they have, laying around the warehouse. Cause with the Lilo and Stitch gift box, it's very interesting that they didn't do any first chapter in there, and they did very limited Rise of the Floodborne when they clearly had those packs around, right? Like, if these are 2024 dated packs, that product, like, these packs would have been available for that product. So it's interesting that they didn't include it in that box. They also, the Elsa gift box, it doesn't have them. The Tinkerbell is only Fabled, so that makes sense. But it's just interesting to see their decision making here on what gets these first chapter or Rise of the Floodborne packs guaranteed and what doesn't. So interesting. Maybe it's some sort of deal with Target that they're looking to partner up with them. They've obviously, Ravensburger and Target have a deep relationship in terms of all the different product offerings on the tabletop side of things, the toy and game stuff. So All right, that's it for the Target bundle. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you excited? Or are you going to get them? I'm excited to get them. I'll probably get one for my son as well. $25, not a bad price. But once again, he's just, I don't know. Boys are just different, man. Like, and he's too hyper for cards, and I enjoy them too much for him to eat them. If you haven't, one time I came back from my LGS, and one of my buy a box promos was in his mouth when I went to the bathroom and came out in the hallway. He had a card in his mouth, and I've still got it. It's in my binder. It's got his teeth marks in it, so that's just a little memento of the times. Fun to reminisce. But okay, transitioning over to some cards. Obviously Lorcana's dead, right? No one's playing locals. No one cares about the game. It's DLC or bust. It's dying. Some cards that are doing very well in the midst of that, right? However, Lorcana is staying alive. We have, obviously I'm joking, Clarabelle, the lowest near mint cold foil on the market is $32. That's actually the lowest Clarabelle possible. If you look at the sales history here, quite a few were bought and sold yesterday. Just yesterday alone, probably close to 20 copies. You've then got one that is sold today, and we're near mint cold foil, lowest on the market. And then you get into some 30s and close to $40 prices here. So Clarabelle, light on her hooves, continues to do good. She does have an enchanted variant of this card as well, which probably is seeing very similar growth. I did not pull it up. I apologize. Namari, single-minded rival. Talking about one that's spiking. The lowest near mint verified on the market is $43. This card has been available for as cheap as $11 just a few weeks ago. And so, once again, just a testament. Look at these peaks and valleys, man. The meta, just an interesting dynamic beast here. As cheap as $10 was kind of the lowest she got, it looks like. Now up to lowest verified of 43. Obviously, there is some cheaper copies on the market, but you're looking at a $5 shipping with 2 sales, $5 shipping and 9 sales. Obviously, you take your whatever risk you assess and deem legitimate. You do what you wish with those prices. But Namari spiking very, very high. And then lastly, we've got some organized play announcements. NA Championship is going to be at Disneyland in in Los Angeles from the 28th through the 30th. And then the EU Championship is going to be at Disneyland Paris from the 11th through the 13th. This hopefully means that we're going to have a Worlds in 2025. If we can get some sort of like November or December Worlds, in 2026 rather, that would be very, very exciting. I hope that they continue to keep this schedule as ramped up as possible. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of DLCs in 2026, and so we're going to be kicked off season 3 by the time these happen, most likely. And so it's going to be weird having Worlds for season 2 while we're hopefully a couple DLCs deep into season 3. But I hope this essentially this timeline continues to get condensed and the seasons are a little bit cleaner from an organized play perspective and just how things are doing. I know I continue to hear really, really good things out of Coop the head of organized play in terms of season 3, and I just hope that they deliver on that. Because season 2 was obviously a major letdown for a lot of the community, and I hope that they bounce back in season 3. But season 2 NA and EU championships, very cool to see on the docket here and getting some official dates. So if you want to go to the NA championships, probably will be open, would be my guess. August 28th through August 30th, and then EU go to Paris from September 11th to September 13th. For 2026. So that is where we're at for that. Was excited to see those announcements. I think those events are very cool, and hopefully, once again, this leads to a big world ceremony at Disney World at the end of 2026. I don't know. Just I foresee these world events being absolutely massive from a spectacle perspective, right? The show that Disney can put on, in combination with the fact of you've got these open. Obviously viewing the games, but then you also have vendors everywhere. There's trade nights, right? Like, this really should be an event, right, that people within the Lorcana world travel to and congregate around, and kind of a ceremony of the year. Like, these world championships should be a very, very big deal. And same with the NA and EU championships in their own right. Obviously, the world championship being the biggest, but hopefully more to come on that. So that's it for today's video. Please let me know your thoughts on the first chapter topic. Please don't roast my hair too much. A lot less hair on this side of my head than this side. She did not give me the same treatment on the other side, but hey, once again, she's pregnant, so we'll give her a break. But if I'm in a hat from now on, you'll know why. You know, just try to hide what was done to me. I was violated. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll be back with another video soon. I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.